I am Soror Loanne Julia Honesty King, current International Program Committee Chairman for Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. In January 1908, when Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority was born, our founders shared a commitment to sisterhood and a resolve to serve mankind. In our centennial year, the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha remain committed to those same values. We continue to lean on our collective expertise and provide avenues and revenues to serve and uplift the Black community. The direction for how we have approached and given service throughout these 100 years has come from our supreme leadership. The video that you are about to see highlights some of the programs set forth by these living links to our founders, our Supreme Basileus. Their cutting-edge initiatives propelled us to new heights and helped to make Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority the premier organization that it is. These women who carry the torch of the founders have not only shaped the sorority, but have shaped the world around them. It is my privilege to present to you Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, a legacy of supreme service.
Alpha Kappa Alpha prepares you to lead anything and anybody.
We have got all kinds of talent in Alpha Kappa Alpha. There's nothing you could really want to do that you don't have somebody with the expertise within the organization.
If people feel they're a part of something, that their ideas count, then you do it as a cooperating group.
To have an African-American organization of women, college-educated women, be around for 100 years is quite remarkable. And to have that experience and that it's based and grounded in giving is even more remarkable.
My proudest moment was that we had won the contract for the Job Corps, because it was a first for Alpha Kappa Alpha and a first for Black women. Job Corps has had the greatest impact in programming for the sorority for more than 32 years. It touched every area of service and improving the quality of life for girls and women.
I had a program for high school students, writing contest about Black heritage, and those papers who won toured the United States, very historical places where Blacks had made real contributions. The Heritage Brochure, which was a little booklet, it was distributed to high schools over the country that told the story of Blacks who had achieved in various areas, like Black lawyers, Black doctors, Black nurses. The other was, from each of the 9 regions, the undergraduate soror who made the highest average was given a free trip. After Boulay, we always went abroad, and they would have that free trip. And during the years since then, I've had so many sorors say, I won the trip.
Communicating well with your membership, I feel that's awfully important, because when you stay in close touch with your membership and they get to know you as a member and as a leader, it brings a certain degree of comfort. The main thing I felt as I went into that office was that the decisions in the organization were always more viable, more relevant and all if we got the membership involved. And those who have to implement the program can feel a part of the decision to have that program. That was really the main thrust of my initial program. I called it Personal Involvement Now. Programs tell your story for you. If they have a name and you say Alpha Kappa Alpha is presenting this, they'll come.
I started what is known as the Negro College Fund Drive for the United Negro College Fund. They were delighted at that time. They needed all the help they could get because they were just getting up off the ground. It united women across the country. The women were excited about being the first to support the United Negro College Fund. We raised $1 million and had only set our goal as $500,000. Before that time, we couldn't even think of $1 million. But we learned to raise, to think of $1 million, and now we raise $10 million for worthwhile projects.
I see Alpha Kappa Alpha with now more than 200,000 women as really power. Anytime you have a membership of 200,000, you can make a difference in many different areas. And if you come together and collaborate with others, you have even a bigger impact. During my tenure, it was a presidential election year. And so we did a lot of voter registration. We put 100,000 folks on the registration rolls during that time. From the beginning, we have been there in all of the struggles of our people. We were there to say no to lynching. We were there to say we ought to work together to bring about a difference. We paid for a lot of folks in the 60s to get out of jail. We were there for the civil rights movement, supporters of Martin Luther King. People forget the significant things historically that we have done. And I think we're going to continue to play that role, but it's going to be played a little bit differently. As I said, we played our first 100 years as supporters of all of those. The next 100 years, we're going to be at the table helping to make some of those decisions about what happens in this nation and in this world.
The one thing that helped me to really grow was to know that in order to serve, you must be able to follow. And in order to follow, you must give a good listening ear to those people who are working with you and learn from what you hear. My program theme was Creative Strategies for Action, addressing the crises of the 1990s. And I chose those issues which I felt Alpha Kappa Alpha needed at that point to address across the world. And so we addressed health issues, we addressed economic issues, we addressed family issues, we took a look at art around the world, and we looked at education around the world. We looked at the family very, very carefully because at that point I felt we needed to talk again about the needs of the black family and the need to get together as parents, as grandparents, as sisters, brothers, and children to put together a family unit that would really be valuable. And I felt that we needed to get together with that. I do look back now and feel that it worked because so much of our world now is looking at all of these issues. Alpha Kappa Alpha was right there with them.
I knew that Alpha Kappa Alpha sorors were 100% college-trained women. I knew that they had certain skills because I knew the way women had grown in this country. I knew that we were teachers and preachers and educators originally. And then by the time I became Supreme Basileus, we had lawyers and physicians and physicists, etc. I assessed those skills and asked myself, what can this group of more than 100,000 college-trained women do?
And the answer was anything they want. The trick is to have your program from coast to coast, everybody doing something of the same thing. We partnered with organizations that had similar interests to ours, and we could be mutually beneficial. That was my theme, networking. I learned the beauty of women who cared about each other too. That's the best thing about Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority.
Service to all mankind says it all, because through the years, when I look back over the things we've done, there are some programs that we've been doing since the very beginning. For example, vocational guidance was one of our early programs. Scholarships, we started out giving scholarships in the early years. And so we've continued to do the things that worked well for us in the beginning, and we've added on to it and done more and more each year. My theme was blazing new trails because I felt that we needed to blaze trails and lead the way. I am the only Supreme Basileus who has served in 2 centuries. I closed out the 20th century and carried them into the 21st century, so I felt that leadership was very important as we move from one century to the next.
One of the things I wanted to do was to strengthen the bonds of sisterhood. And I also wanted to improve the reading skills of children in grades K through 3. And I was looking to work with other organizations to improve and strengthen the Black family, and to see what we could do to reduce the health disparities between minorities and the majority community. And sisterhood for me was at the core of accomplishing those things. During 4 years, we volunteered over 3 million hours of service. We served over 500,000 people. We donated or contributed $20 million for the toward programs other than just the reading program. A lot of that $20 million represents scholarships given to young people to go to college.
Alpha Kappa Alpha is a microcosm of our society at large. And that reality is something that has been there from the moment we were created. One of the things that I felt would ensure our ascension into our 2nd century of service was the fact that as a large institution, we had to awaken in each individual member the luster in a way that that member not only understood it, but that the member understood how to execute it. The theme of this administration are 3 simple letters, but yet they mean so much. And those letters are ESP. It's an acronym for anything that a member can create using those letters. Example, in the external world as a service organization, we use those letters to mean economics, service, and partnerships. Internally to the organization, we use those letters to mean excellence and sisterhood and purpose. For me, it means every soror participates. And so at the base of it, the awakening in each member that the involvement of that member is directly correlated to the success and strength of the institution. Having a member make that connection in their lifetime would be the legacy that any national president would love to leave.
And so, in our centennial year, the bold traditions and vision charted by our founders and nurtured and built on by our Supreme Basileus continues through the heart of ESP. We will witness unseen, unimaginable, and unbelievable aspects of sisterhood and service that will propel us into the 2nd century and beyond.